Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while since I last posted, but I've been struggling with the worst art block of my entire life. But with Art Fight coming up, I really need to get back into drawing and really break out of this funk. So today I'm going to redraw one of my characters. I created this character a few months ago right before my art block hit, and by the end of this video you'll see my newest drawing of her since I've gotten out of my art block. The whole point of this video that I was supposed to make months ago was turning AI slop into an original character. Now, I know that there's been some debate around this. The pro is that by using AI as a base, I can give a character real personality and depth and, screw AI. And the cons, of course, is that it takes from actual artists' creativity and pieces and warps it into its own design. So I want to be really clear that I'm not really copying the AI image directly. I'm more of a jumping off point or for a reference. I didn't have a really clear vision of what I wanted to go for with this character or what I was really looking for. So I ended up scrolling through Pinterest for a lot longer than I was probably supposed to. I ended up seeing a lot of My Hero and Demon Slayer OCs, but then I realized the only OC that I really have is just a human, and I've never really had a monstrous or any other kind of OC other than just a human. But I really wanted something more elegant, so I chose a vampire. I thought it would be fun for fashion options because you can jump between eras, and I've always liked the more darker, timeless vibes. So I just put in AI vampire OCs and just scrolled for inspiration. I started getting into the more white-haired vampires, and I was really liking that theme, and then I finally found this piece. I really liked the white hair and the dark clothes, obviously. Those were the main things that I took reference from, but I feel like the rest of it, I kind of did my own thing. Usually when I go to make a character or any kind of concept really, I do a lot of planning in my head before it ever hits any paper or iPad in this case. I had done a lot of brainstorming for a story to go along with her and not just a concept design, because I feel like adding a story to the character gives it a little bit more depth and gives you traits or specific things in their design that you couldn't get from just drawing them. When I do these reference sheets, I always will put them in their undies and then put clothes on them so that I get a base for whenever I want to put clothes on them, and then a layer for each outfit. For some reason, I completely forgot to do that for this design and just went straight for clothes. And honestly, after I was done with this piece, she was one of my favorite drawings for the whole time I had art block. I was so proud of this drawing, and I think she came out perfect. I thought with the more purplish skin and the pointed ears would really drive home that she's not human. So while I draw a little bit more of her, I thought that I would give you her backstory. Now, Celine is a vampire shaped by her childhood. When she was younger, she lived in an old, dark, and creepy castle, one passed down through her vampire family. The castle was haunted, abandoned, and full of dark rumors. People avoided it at all costs, never daring to see what lay inside. One night, as Celine awoke from her chambers, she was about 50 years old in vampire years, though still a child. She wanted to go play, but she wasn't allowed to leave the gardens or cross the wall. Her parents went out during feeding time, but she had to stay behind. Until one night, driven by curiosity, she slipped over the wall. She couldn't fly far with her little wings, only carrying her so far, wandered through the woods, playing amongst the trees, until she sees this little girl, alone, in the woods. As she creeps up, the little girl swings around, teary-eyed. Celine, with her new-founded bravery, asks the little girl what was wrong. The little girl tells her that she couldn't find her way home, so Celine, using her vampire senses, takes the girl's hand and guides her back to her village. The little girl hugged her, thanked her even, but as she did, her father appeared, terrified, shouting, "What are you? Why are you holding my daughter?" As they saw Celine, with her pointed ears and fangs, her discolored skin and red eyes, they grabbed their fire, their pitchforks, and chased her into the woods. Celine, still just a little baby vampire, couldn't outrun them. She trips over a log, and one of the men stabbed her in the leg with a pitchfork. In agony, she fled, but only so far. The villagers followed, and when she found her home, they burned it to the ground. Her family, completely unaware, trying to flee. And as Celine climbed the hill, she turned around to see her home going up in flames as vampires fly out the windows in every which way, not knowing which one is her mother or her father. She's devastated until she hears more footprints and flees. Many years later, Celine goes back to the village and takes her revenge, burning all of their homes to the ground like they did hers, and leaving enough food for years to come. But too hurt and angry to feast, she left it, letting it all go to waste. By the time the neighboring villages noticed what had happened, they were covered in maggots, almost unrecognizable. Nowadays, Celine lives on her own, and she despises humans. Sure, there have been a few cases where they have surprised her, and they have built a unbreakable bond, but they're still mortals and they still die, leaving her alone. As much as she says that she hates humans, she will still go to a bar to seduce and have her next dinner. But sometimes she leaves with just a drink in hand and a good conversation. With the things she's gone through, I think that she would be a very stern, stubborn, and difficult person for sure. She definitely has RBF, and I really like her design. The final piece is just I literally looked up vampire outfits on Pinterest, and they were the first 3 to pop up, and I thought they fit her very well, obviously. And I tried to portray her more stuck-up personality in these drawings, but it is crazy to see the difference between the very first drawing and the last one from just a month or two of art block in between. Also, if you haven't noticed, the channel has had a new little revamp, better editing, hopefully, new profile picture on every platform, which if you are not already, definitely go follow because I post a lot more on there than on here, and you get early access to anything I end up drawing. This video should be coming out before Art Fight, and I will be participating in that, so if you do want to take your hand in drawing Celine, I would greatly appreciate it, and she has her own profile already on my Art Fight. I will leave a link in the description to all social medias and my Art Fight. I also took this video on one take, so hopefully it came out well, and I hope I sound a little bit more entertaining than the last few videos, and I really do want to improve on my video quality. So I hope that this video was a very good push in that direction. Thank you to everybody who has watched the video for this long. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you come back. And I already have another video in the makings, so hopefully it won't be another month wait for another video. Thank you so much for watching.